Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Aim small, miss small. So for today's video, we're doing another unboxing, but it's an unboxing update. As we've done the Genesis before, we're doing an update on the scope and what you get inside the box. As you can see, we've got two boxes on the table today. It is because we've had some updates done to the Genesis. Some of the guys came to us with some solutions to some of the small issues that we've had, what they've had while they were using the scope in the field, and we've labeled the second one the Hunter. So we've got the Genesis 22x50 first focal plane, which is an MRAD scope, and then we've changed the outside of the scope a little bit and we've labeled it the Hunter. Specification wise, it's exactly the same. It's just those one or two changes that we'll discuss later in the video. And as always, at the end of the video, we'll give you a discount code so you can buy this scope at a reduced price. And this time we're going to run it on the Aim Small, Miss Small website. And I'll put all the details in the description below. So let's open the box. We see what you get inside the box. And then we have a discussion on what the specs are, and as well as what's the difference between the Genesis 3221, the non-Hunter, and the Hunter. So let's go. So let's have a look at what's inside the box. As you can see, the box dimension has changed a little bit. They made it a little bit smaller to capitalize on the shipping. And there you have the reticle, and it's the Genesis 32x50 first focal plane in MRAD. All right, so let's open the box and see what you got. So in opening the box, you get a thank you note. Thank you for choosing this optic, with a nice little note and a nice addition of torque settings on the side. Turn it around, you have the reticle explanation of what the distances between the reticle is, as well as the specification on the sheet. So if we open the box, we're going to work from the left to the right, just take everything out. You get a lens cloth. All right, as always with ARKA Optics, in the purchase price you get your 34mm scope rings, and the new addition to the rings is you got the torque setting on where you need to turn the screw, which is a nice addition. You don't need to look it up, you can just look on top of the ring itself, or on the ring itself. Next is the anti-glare. You can do it like that. You put it on the front side of the scope to reduce the glare off the lenses. All right, next little pocket, and a small little hook. Let's see if I can show you what it looks like. That is the throw lever that screws into the marked place on the magnification ring. Over here, the new updated turret tool, nice and fat, nice and quality. The previous ones were a little bit flimsy, but this is a nice update. It also has a hole so you can put it on your keys, your car keys, so that you always have it with you. All right, before we take the scope out, to the far right side, you have your sunshade, and that goes on the scope. All right, one of the main things that I enjoy in getting an AKRA optic is you get the spring-loaded flip caps, which is a nice addition, and it does protect it nice when you're back on the back of the bucky to keep the dust off the lenses. For now, I'm just going to take it off so we can have a look at the optic itself. So there we go. AKRA, there's your 21 and 3, labeled nicely as the Genesis over there. So there is you take that screw out, you then put your throw lever pip in there, and it becomes a throw lever. Nice little addition, nice and smooth. Personally, I don't think you would need it, because you do have this little bulge, and it's not difficult to turn the magnification ring. All right, moving along, it's the 34mm tube. You got a parallax setting of 15 yards all the way to 500 and infinity. All right, and you got your turrets. There you go, elevation and windage as well, and they are both lockable. All right, coming to the objective lens, it's a 50mm objective lens with the green coating on it. All right, guys, there you have it, the 3-21 straight out of the box. Nice little scope. All right, guys, there you have it. I've taken the Hunter out of the box as well, just to show you what the updates were. I'll step a little bit closer so you can see what the updates were. So what the guys came to us with and said that they don't like the windage turret that is dialable. They say hunters don't dial for wind, so they wanted it as a capped turret. So that's the first change that we made on the Hunter series. And then they also mentioned that they don't like the fact that the turret at the top is not level. Not sure what the reasoning behind this was, but we did give it to them. So let me show you quickly in terms of this. As you saw it, we got the normal lockable turret on the normal 3221. If we look at the Hunter, it's got flat bases. All right, so let me see if I can put it together so you can see the difference. Here you got a little bit of an uphill where you use your turret tool, and on the Hunter it is completely flat, as well as all the sides being flat. The big change is the capped turret on the windage. So if I take it off, you have to take the cap off to get to the windage turret, which is then dialable. It's not lockable as on the other one, but it'll be capped. So once you got it set, you can zero it and then close it if you want to shoot either on holdover or don't hold for the wind at all. So there you go. This is the two changes to the scope. Well, the two major changes to the scope is the fact that the windage is now capped and that it has a flat top between the Hunter and the normal 3221. On the 3221, which is a nice addition, which I didn't know about, the windage and elevation is lockable. So you'll dial and lock, as well as on the windage, dial and lock. Nice little feature that they updated on there. As I mentioned before, I'll show you how the throw lever works. You have a little bit of a screw over there. You take that out and you screw the throw lever in there. Quite simple. And there we go, guys. That is the 3221. As before, when it was ROARK, quality scope, nice and heavy, and it just works. In terms of reticle, I'll put the reticle on the screen for you so you can see what it looks like. But you also do get the identification card, which shows you exactly what the turrets mean. So if you don't take a screenshot of this picture, don't worry, you do get a picture explaining it to you. So just a quick rundown on the specs, and I'm going to use the card because this is what you're going to get so you can read it off there. It is a Genesis 3-21 magnification, so 7 times magnification in total. It is a first focal plane 34mm tube. It weighs 877 grams, excluding of the rings. So if you put the 34mm rings with it, it does increase the weight a little bit more to around about 950 to 960 grams. It has an elevation and windage travel of 29 mils. So once you've set it and you've zeroed it, you might have a little bit less, but the total travel up and down is 29 on windage as well as on the elevation. In terms of parallax, as I showed you, did the unboxing, it's 15 to 500 to infinity. So nice and close, especially for the guys that want to use it on a 2.2. It is a quality scope to use on the 2.2. Length is 339 millimeters, which is 33.9 centimeters for the guys that care about centimeters. So overall, nice and short. And you also have the extension of the sunshade if you want to put it on, which will make it a little bit longer. Very easy to install, as you can see. And the one thing that I did not talk about is the zero stop that is inside of the scope. Personally, I don't use a zero stop. I just know where my zero is because it's fairly close to the end of the travel. But some other people do like the zero stop, and you can just take it out and I'll bring it closer for you guys to see. So here we go. This is what the ring looks like. You just put it in once you have zeroed your scope, and it will limit you to 0. So I'm going to quickly put it back. Let's say we just finished zeroing. We've done that. I have to say the upgrade on the turret tool is a massive difference. It's not as flimsy as the previous ones. So a good upgrade on that. And we've now set it. If you then dial to 0, it stops. All right, so you can dial all the way and it actually stops on 0.
So nice zero stop, and it's easy to install, easy to use. Guys, there you have it, the Genesis 3-21x50 first focal plane in MRAD. The scope is available on the Aim Small, Miss Small website, and the discount code, so you can get a 5% discount on these scopes. They retail for 9,300 Rand. You get 5% off on that if you use the ASMS for Aim Small, Miss Small, and Gen, G-E-N. So it's ASMS, G-E-N for Genesis. Guys, go get your discount. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this gave you the information that you needed about the scope, and I hope it helped. We'll see you again. Goodbye.